Hey everybody, Darren Yankee here with Echo Y Farms. I'm going to talk today a little bit about a project that we worked on over this past summer. So we just bought a property a couple years ago, and the property has a stream running through it. The stream is called the Honey Creek. So one of the concerns that we had was we want clean water running into the creek from our field. And what can we do to help make sure our water is clean? And this field in particular is around 100 acres in size, and it all has a slope going towards this creek. In some areas of the field are a little flatter than others, and some areas of the field get pretty steep. So we reached out to a couple different places to see what we needed to do to establish a strip along this creek. And came down to pretty well planting a prairie strip. And we decided that about a 45-foot strip along this creek would be adequate to catch this water that's running off the edge of the field. So once that water hits our new prairie strip, it should get absorbed into the soil and therefore going into the ground instead of into the creek. And the water that would flow into the creek off the field hopefully is a lot cleaner, as the sediment should drop into the prairie strip. So we have a few different things that we had to do to get this particular strip established this year. So I'm going to flip the camera around. We're going to take a gander and see what we got going on and how we implemented and put this strip into place. So this particular field was winter wheat this past year. And we have a cover crop planted out there currently that we grazed this fall. So we planted this prairie strip in the springtime of the year. So right next to this prairie strip was winter wheat. And actually the strip itself was winter wheat as well. So what we did to get it established was we came through with a rotary mower multiple times this spring and kept mowing that wheat down to keep it in a vegetative state and keeping it short until midsummer when it headed out then. But we came in then with a broadcast seeder mounted on the back of our UTV, and we spread a variety of seeds out here. Now we had help with designing this by the Sand County Foundation. So they helped decide what seeds we needed to place in our particular soils along this field. Our plan was to use a no-till drill to drill the seeds into the ground, but this spring when we wanted to plant it in June, it was really wet and it was raining out quite often. So we couldn't get it established with the drill. So we pivoted and went with a broadcast seeder and got it in place, the seeds on the ground. But with prairie strips, it normally takes a few years before you start seeing some of these species get established. So right now what we have out here is a few different types of weeds. We got some foxtail growing, but we also had some winter wheat residue out here yet. And that's kind of holding the weeds down for the most part. So now over the next couple years, we're going to have to come in and maintain this strip with our mower. We could also come in and burn the strip, but it's going to be easier for us to come in with our rotary mower and mow this strip down a couple times a year until it gets established. Once the strip gets established really well, there's very little maintenance that will need to get done. And you can see the strip is about 45 feet wide. And as we get closer to the creek here, this is just mainly a grass along the creek edge that was always been here. We pretty well just implemented the strip up farther. But the strip is really long. It goes up a long ways to them trees. And then as we go back around on the other side of me, it curls around the edge of the creek there and ends up by the road, which is hard to see in this video, but it's up by the bridge over there on the right-hand side of the screen. So the strip is nice and long. And we do have a stake with some stakes out here so you can see exactly where the strip is as we go along this creek. That way when we're planting corn in this field here next year, we make sure we stay away from that strip. Now that we got it planted, we want to make sure it stays there. So as we come down to this creek, right now the top of it is frozen, but there is water flowing underneath that ice currently. So this is where we want to make sure our water is clean at this point running into that creek. Very important for us to have clean water. So along with this prairie strip, up in the field farther, up on the hillside, we have a 30-foot wide strip. And that strip is a pollinator strip. And that is supposed to also catch sediments as they come off the hills and go through that strip. So we had help getting this project established. We had funding from One Good Idea to help us get this established. And also the seed that we used to establish these two different practices came from the Bee and Butterfly Fund. Like I said, the Sand County Foundation was there and helped us design and seed the strips in place. So it was a team effort. Glad everybody was available to help us out. And again, we are part of the Sauk Soil and Water Improvement Group, also known as SWIG. And that's practices like this is what we are trying to implement in that group as well. So they had a part in it as well. Like I said, the funding came from One Good Idea. The seed came from the Bee and Butterfly Fund. And Sand County did a great job getting it designed and helping us get the seeding into the ground. So really thankful for everybody's expertise because we don't know much about these different practices on our farm and we need somebody to help us out. So got them established, and hopefully in a year or two from now, I'll be able to come out here and show you guys a video of a beautiful looking prairie strip right here. That's very exciting for us, and hopefully it does its job. So, well, thanks a lot for following along and listening, everybody. You guys all have a great day.